Well, good day, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Over the Top TV. I am here with more than just one person. Normally, it is myself and Mr. Riley Miller, but we have special guests, and I mean that. These guys are really big in the sport of arm wrestling. We have Kayne Hemsing and Uncle John in the house. This is very big. We got a big event coming up this weekend in Moose Jaw, and it's all Nat Fit back. This is a big deal here. And to wrap it all up, there's going to be a super match between these two fellows. And I know a lot of people, including myself, are very excited to see that. Guys, welcome to the
Hey,
show.
let me say
It's,
one thing right out of the gate. Code word Uncle John, all caps. Go to netfit.ca, 5% off. You too can be a powerful animal just like me.
love it. Just a gem. This guy is a professional, ladies and gentlemen.
How you guys
Right.
doing?
How are you guys doing today?
Doing well.
Doing good.
Doing good. So big event this weekend. The first thing that really sparked my attention to this was see on social media one day I get bombarded from multiple people saying, "Hey, who's this Uncle John guy, and why is he saying he can beat everybody in Saskatchewan?" I'm like, "Well, I know who the guy is, but I don't know what he's talking about." So, John,
Look,
you want to start with that a little bit?
yeah, look, here's the deal. Saskatchewan, what are you doing? You're not beating me. You're not beating me. I'll pull the tournament. I'll pull Kane. I'll let everybody at the brew house line up left-handed. Every person in the province goes down. I'm telling you guys, I'm too powerful. I'm too strong. And it's just a fact. It's just a fact. And people think that I'm just the MC. I just get on the microphone at nationals. Oh, he doesn't pull. He doesn't do anything. Gonna have a rude awakening, boys. If you're not there, you already lost. So you better book your tickets now to get a shot at this left arm.
I don't know, Kane. He talks a big game. How you feeling about this match coming up?
I'm excited about the match. Uncle John's, I've watched him compete at nationals. I've watched him at the nationals MC. He's done very well. Now he's traveling around the world with the show and competing in Armed Gods and everything. So it's really exciting that we could get him to our event, and it worked out that he was able to make it. We talked months ago as soon as we knew we had a date, and he was able to get us penciled in his busy schedule. So for that opportunity for him to come and the excitement he brings, it's exciting. And then, to top it off, when he told me that, he wanted to pull and was interested in a super match, there was lots of guys that threw their names, out to me and to Brandon, the Duke. And at the end of the day, I just seen it as an opportunity to, my left is, somewhat like his. It's got a name behind it. So I thought, it'll be an exciting match. And, I haven't pulled much since Nationals, so this will be a good test to see, where it's rebounded from. I learned a big lesson at Nationals. Pulling multiple classes in one day is probably not the smartest idea.
Right.
But I've, recovered, had some rest, and been training and been preparing for this match. So it should be very exciting. And I think the hype leading up to it throughout the day and everything going on with the tournament, there's going to be a lot of great matches between the tournament, actually even starting from the youth tournament into the amateur tournament, into the pro preliminaries, into the pro finals, into the belt matches, into the co-main event with Harley and Brandon, and then topping it off with John and I. And then if he has anything left in the tank, then he can pull maybe all of Saskatchewan and get a go home, very sore. And we'll make sure that, EMS is on scene. And
Yes. Look, I will
Bro.
pull until I die. So I'm waiting for it. If I don't go home, if I'm not in the airport doing this, then I have not achieved what I set out to achieve. So that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Now, stats wise, how do you guys compare? Like, Kane, how long have you been in the sport?
Well, started competing in 2004. So what's that? I had some matches before that, like for fun, but it wasn't until about 2004 when I started training with Fred Roy and Terry Palischuk and, this Ken Georgette way back. I think 2003, 4 were my first provincials. And then I think 2005, was it 2004 or 5 in Portage was my first national. So since then, so probably I'd say 18 to 20 years been competing, throughout Saskatchewan, Canada, and then I've gone to Worlds 4 times. So
Wow.
it's been a good career.
Right on. Yeah, and I know you're multiple time provincial champion. I've been there to witness many of them. So yeah, you have a good pedigree in the sport, that's for sure.
Yeah. So for me, I started in December of 2011. So I think this is going to be like year 12. This year will be year 12 for me. I took some time off in between. And I mean, the big thing for me is that like I was 320 pounds for the first 8 years, right? And so it was heavyweights and not healthy. And it was really only in the last 3 or 4 years since I started and became Uncle John and started the YouTube channel that I came down. I went from 320 all the way down to like 195. And
Oh,
then over the last year, I kind of have settled at around 220. And that seems to be, where my body is comfortable. I can get down to 200, but I got to work hard to do that. And who wants to do that, especially in the wintertime, right? So I would say the last 3 or 4 years, I've been working really, really hard. And I think my level has come up quite a ways. And I've been really, really lucky to have the opportunity to travel to the UK, to Ireland, all across Canada, to the US, and pull just a ton of different guys. And I've taken some severe beatings and I've had some good wins, and it's all been for the better because every match I win or lose, I have to change the way I pull. And the way everybody pulls in Nova Scotia is not the way people pull in the UK or over in Saskatchewan. Everything changes a little bit. So I think the biggest thing for me in the last 3 years is I'm much more comfortable against a variety of opponents. Whether you're going to hook me, top roll me, press me, I've got something now to give back against all the different styles.
man. Well, first up, like impressive weight loss. That's formidable. Well done,
Thank
man.
you.
That's
Yeah,
taking a ton of
it's been
dedication,
great. I mean,
hard
it's
work.
been great. I can't recommend it enough. If anybody's out there watching and they're in that same boat, like do it now. Like I did it and I was like 36, 37 when I did it, and now I'm going to be 39 in about a month. And I can't imagine, I can't imagine what it would be if I was still up there. Everything in life is much, much better now.
I know Billy Berg had a very similar
Yeah.
transformation as you. Very, it's I find it extremely, motivational and inspiring because, like, not just anyone. Like, I mean, I think anyone can do it, but most will never do it.
And you know what? The first step is this. Go to natfit.ca. Type in
Amazing.
Uncle John, all caps, UNCLEJON, and get 5% off your NatFit products. I'm telling you.
Just a rock star.
He's got a
I
good
love
point.
it. I love it, John. Awesome. And and before we move on forward, I just need to know, who did you first start training with when you got into the sport? Like, who
Yeah.
taught you?
So originally I started arm wrestling in Minnesota. That's where I'm from originally. And so I started training with I don't know if you guys know, like Josh Handelind, Joseph Chalby. They were kind of the young big names in Minnesota at that time. And we went all over the place. We went to the Arnolds a couple times. We drove all over. We would do big road trips. And I was in my late 20s at that point, and we were just footloose and fancy free, doing whatever we wanted. And then, so that was about 3 or 4 years. And then I moved to Nova Scotia, where I've been for about 9 or 10 years now. And then I started training with Rick Pinkney and Chris Scott and Mark
Nice.
McPhail is out here, Sean Ross, all of those guys. And so it's
Wow.
just been a culmination of just feeling different hands. And then in the last 3 years, I've become very good friends with Neil Pickup and Cobra
Nice.
Rhodes. So having those
Cool.
guys to pick their brains and like just stuff blows your mind when you start really getting into the nitty gritty of the sport. It's like, wow, I'm a complete idiot and I've been doing this all wrong for so long. But it's been wild. It's been really wild.
Congratulations, man. You look like a beast on the after pool table at Nationals. I never got to touch you, but you look strong, real
Yeah,
strong.
I was feeling pretty good. It always is easy to look good when you haven't pulled all day and everybody else pulled in a tournament, but
I suppose
I
so.
right now I'm very confident in my left hand, and I'm really happy to be able to pull Kayne. I'm really honored because I knew about Kayne long before I would have even considered pulling him. Because I know he's always at the top end when it comes to nationals. I know he's dangerous. I've seen him pull guys that I've had a lot of problems with. And so once I got down in weight, I kind of made this list of guys in Canada. And I'm like, all right, who do I really want to pull? And Kayne has always been very near the top of the list. So I'm super happy to be able to go and get to pull him for real.
Yeah, you should be in for a war. I mean, Kane and I have gone back and forth over the years, and
Yeah.
it's never pretty. We duke it out hard for many, many years, and yeah, you're in for a battle. That's for sure.
Well, look, I'm not interested if it's not, right? If for me, I'm not in arm wrestling to collect wins. I'm in arm wrestling to create moments and have matches that I will never forget in my life. That's what I want more than anything in life. I like to perform. I like to bring my character to the table. I like to upset the crowd. That's what gets me going in life. Like I don't do arm wrestling to like I'm just weird. It's my ability to perform, right? In
Yeah.
another life, I'm in the ring as a WWE guy, but I'm never going to be able to do that. I'm way too old now. So now this is the way I get to do it. And that's what makes me happy.
Good job, man. Way to go. Way to go. That's really good, man. Really, really good. Now, Kane, you are a big part of this event that's happening this weekend, right? You're always, I always say I'm really thankful for guys like you in the sport because I I don't at this stage of my life I'm just not interested in putting on events and things like that. But I know I need people that do that. So people like Kane, I'm always grateful for you, Kane, because you put on not only do you put on events, but you put on some really good events, and normally with some good prizes and stuff. I've been a fan for years, man. I've had some super matches in some of your events. I'm a big fan, so I'm really looking forward to this one. What kind of things do we have to look forward to here? So we have you kind of listed off quick at the beginning there, but like there's these belt matches. So who's up? So what's all up for grabs this weekend?
Uh, I can go through it quick. I think the biggest thing is that we're excited to be back. The last few years we haven't been able to have a tournament. So now that it was just finding the right time. People have been having more and more tournaments. We just wanted to wait till the right time, and we had the sponsorship. And I think the change has been that when we set up the league in 2018, Rockport Trucking, a good friend of mine, and I kind of had an idea to create, a professional, arm wrestling league similar to what Joe Gould had in the East, maybe out West, and try to get a lot of good arm wrestlers and showcase our sport at a higher level throughout Western Canada. So when we started, they put up a lot of money so that we were able to secure the belts and get them built so that we could create a league where we had champions and then move into super matches. And since then it's just grown. But also since day one, we believed that when we started the league that we wanted to raise money for a good cause. He at the time, I had young kids, he had some young grandchildren. So ever since the very first event, the main thing behind the Fit to Fight Armed Sports League is that at the end of the day, once everybody's paid, all the bills are paid, and whatever we raise, throughout the night, through auctions, 50-50, everything like that, we donate whatever, we raise back to the Jim Pattison Children's Foundation, which benefits sick children in Saskatchewan. Now, most of our tournaments up to this date, and all of them, have been in Saskatchewan just because that's where our heavy sponsorship is. So that's not going to change from this event. So we're very excited. Whatever we raise from Fit to Fight number 8 here this weekend is going to be added to the 5,800 that we've raised up to this point, and we're very proud of. In 7 events, we've raised $5,800 through all these events and been able to give back. So that, I guess, to me, is the most exciting about the event, is that for the last 3 years we haven't had an event. We're back, and we're gonna, once again give back everything, and we will make an announcement after the event and make a donation to the Jim Pattison of some kind once the event is over. Now, another big change that has happened over the last 3 years is, as everybody knows, we went through some tough times, not just, with everybody, but a lot of through the economy and a lot of business. So what we did is that NatFit Canada, myself, has taken over and bought somewhat the Fit to Fight Arms Sports League. So now, Fit to Fight Arms Sports League is a division under NatFit Canada. So now NatFit Canada is the title sponsor and owner of the Fit to Fight Arms Sports League. So what that means is that everything to do with our tournaments are going to be somewhat sponsored and run by myself and the NatFit Canada team. So this is our first event, so we're excited about it, but at the same time nervous. But you're going to see a lot of NatFit supplements on site. You're going to see a lot of NatFit gear and everything oriented, because NatFit is a big part of the Fit to Fight Arms Sports League as the title sponsor and owner. So that's another exciting thing that I'm excited about. As before, 3 years ago, I didn't have NatFit. I had the Fit to Fight Arms Sports League, and we were sponsored by Rockport and Hemsing and Sons. So now we've totally taken over, and NatFit is running the Fit to Fight Arms Sports League more as a part of its business, and we're able to go out to sponsors and promote that we're running a professional arm wrestling tournament for kids, for amateurs, for the pros, for our belt matches, and at the end of the day, it's an exciting event, and at the end of the day, whatever we raise goes to a good cause. So for that, those are some big changes that have happened over the last 3 years. What are we to look forward to this weekend? Well, starting Friday night, John's flying in from Nova Scotia. The Duke himself is going to pick him up at the airport. They're going to go and get him checked in to the hotel. The Quality Inn and Suites is our host hotel. We have some other hotels, so just remember, anybody needs a hotel room, get a hold of me. I got extra rooms. So Friday night, we got weigh-ins from 7 to 9. It's kind of a meet and greet with John. He's going to be there, talking to guys, doing some interviews, hanging out. Brandon's going to be there doing weigh-ins. So anybody wants to weigh in Friday from 7 to 9, you can weigh in for the amateur, you can weigh in for the youth, and you can weigh in for the open, you can weigh in for the super matches. Friday night is open to all competitors. For Saturday's event, you can weigh in from 7 to 9 on Friday night at the Canadian Brew House. That, I guess, is another exciting announcement. All of the Fit to Fight events in Moose Jaw before, which are only been the Duke Invitational, the Duke himself, Brandon, and I organized this event, have always been at Bugsy's Irish Pub. But this year, the Canadian Brew House approached us when they heard we were organizing an event and jumped on board. So we're very excited to be having everything at the Canadian Brew House on Friday and Saturday. It's a larger venue. They have a stage area. They have an upper deck. They have great food. They're going to be having food specials, drink specials. They got an excellent stereo system, like mic system. As you know, brew houses have about 34 to 40 TVs in the bar that we might be able to get wired into, maybe courtesy of you guys. So that's another excitement about Friday night, is the weigh-ins will always will be at the Canadian Brew House Friday night. Saturday, we are going to be setting up between 11 and 12. We have weigh-ins for the youth and the amateur from 12 to 1. Uncle John and myself and Brandon and some other people will be there running the weigh-ins from 12 to 1. The youth tournament and the amateur tournament will be getting going at 1 p.m. and that will run approximately from 1 to about 4, depending on how many entries we have. That is strictly a double knockout tournament only, just to keep the time down. And also the entry fees for the youth are $5, the amateur $25 an arm, and we have prizes for first, second, and third in the youth and also in the amateur classes. So, and don't forget, we just added the classes are the same for the amateur as our open or pro. We've always kept it to the men's 0 to 176 pounds, 177 to 209, and 210 and over, left and right for men. In the women's amateur, just because of the entries, we've just kept it to a women's open left, a women's open right. Our masters classes, 0 to 200, left and right, and at 200 and over, left and right in the masters, just to make the classes a little bit bigger and fun. And we just added that the other day, and we have awards for those in the top 3 also. So that'll roughly run from 1 to 4. During that time of 1 to 4, when all the people that are interested in pulling in the pro can weigh in. So that's going to hopefully get going around 4 o'clock. Now, all the rules we use over the weekend are CAWF. We're proud supporters of the Saskatchewan Arm Wrestling League. Our events are sanctioned by them. We want to thank Tracy Arnold and all the association for that. But also, we're proud to be a part of the Canadian Arm Wrestling Federation, which all 4 of you know you have competed and you're all members also. So going back to the open, people can weigh in for the open classes from 1 to 4. The entry fees on those are $40 per arm. And we hope to get the open going around that 4 to 4:30. Now, this is in a triple elimination tournament, similar to nationals.
Nice.
So you get guaranteed 3 matches. There's a little higher entry fee, but in the end, we give out our custom Fit to Fight arm sports medals for first, second, and third. And also, Nat Fit's going to be kicking in some stuff for first, second, and third also. So that's exciting for the open classes. Now, once the open classes are done, we always take a small supper break. Everybody's hungry. You know what I mean? We take a little bit of a break for munchies, let the refs, cool down. And we're honored to have Terry Palaschuk and Clayton Turcott, and probably myself will be doing some of the reffing, or most of the reffing throughout the day. At 8 o'clock, we'll have a quick supper break. Then we come back and we run our finals. So that is, we've taken our open class down to the top 2, and now we're going to run our finals. So we run our finals in our open classes, our pro classes, which are the same as the amateur, but 0 to 176, 177 to 209, 210 and over, men's left and right. But in the women's classes, this is where it gets exciting. We have 0 to 154 is our lightweight women's, and that's left and right. And then in our middleweight classes in women's is 155 and plus. But due to the long 3 years, we have 3 belts that are going to be awarded in the women's classes that are up for grabs in the open because of the people that had them just aren't competing and have given up their belts. So right in the women's classes, this is exciting for any women coming that are going to pull in the open, have a chance to become a new Fit to Fight belt champion in the 0 to 154 class, left and right, and in the 154 and over, 155 and over left arm class. So we are having a belt match later on. But going back, so we run the finals. At the time, we'll have some new champions. Then there'll be a small break. Then we get into our belt matches. Now, this is where it's going to get, exciting once and again. We have the Leach boys. Everybody knows Kelly and Dustin Leach coming from Edmonton. They're probably going to be down on Friday, so you guys might see them at the weigh-ins on Friday. They are both our lightweight champions in each arm. But up and coming and everybody knows he's starting to make his name for himself. We got Kayne Hemsing out of Moose Jaw. He's super strong, and he's been arm wrestling. I remember since he was 3, because I've been training and working with him and his dad. So he's prepared and ready to go. I talked to him and his dad the other day. They've been training hard, and he's going after both the left and the right 0 to 176 light arm championship belts. So we're going to have those 2 belt matches. Super exciting. Then we're going to move into, hopefully, we have 1 women's belt match between Monica, I have a trouble saying her name, Monica Oslinger. She trains, Solomon Latimer trains her.
Okay.
That McLean area. She's super strong farm girl. She came to our last event and cleaned house. She's the belt champion in the 154 right arm class, and she's pulling one of the top ranked in her class, Melanie Hoffman out of Calgary. So long as Melanie has some other engagements in Moose Jaw that evening, so long as she can make it, that match will happen, and that will be our 3rd belt match. Now, once those are done, then there'll be a small break, and then we're going to move into our co-main event. And I think, John talked to those 2 gentlemen today on his talk show. We got Harley Green coming out of Lloydminster, pulling the Duke himself from Moose Jaw.
Oh.
So Duke's been preparing. He wanted, a match in his tournament. And, this is the Duke Invitational. This is why everybody's coming. This was our first event in 2018, the Duke Invitational. And it was in Moose Jaw in 2019. And it was our last tournament in 2020. So there hasn't been a tournament, Fit to Fight tournament, since 2020, when we had the Duke Invitational, which was number 7, Fit to Fight Armed Sports League number 7. And so we're excited after 3 years to come back and start off again at the Duke Invitational and have the Duke himself in a super match against a very talented puller. They've had matches together and had some incredible wars. So when the Duke and I sat down, he said, some options, and he figured the top match that he wanted was to pull Harley in the right. So they'll have a best of 5 in the right. Then there'll be a small break, and then the main event again, as Uncle John has said, is going to be him and myself in the left arm, and that's the main event, and that'll be a best of 5. And then if at the end of the night, if Uncle John feels like he's pulling, then we'll put his arm down on the table, and we'll allow people to come up and give him a shot since he's in the house. And I know there's a lot of people already have reached out to me, that want to, take a shot at him. So that'll be exciting for everybody.
And let me say something about that, because I want that to happen, even if my arm's falling off. But I'm going to challenge everybody. I think we got to have, if you want to touch this arm, let's be honest, everybody wants to touch his arm. I think you got to make a donation. You got to make a donation with the Jim Pattison Foundation, correct? That's what it's called? Yeah. You got to make a donation. I don't care what it is, if it's $1, if it's $5. That's what I want. I want to make sure that we get a lot of that goodwill going there.
At least 20.
At least $20. I would say $50 to get a little taste of this. I mean, this arm has been to arm gods, to arm wars. I've been known as the most hated man in arm wrestling. It's got to be worth something. We got to help. We got to help these people out. So pull out your wallets. I mean, you're already getting one of the best. You know what I'm excited for? I'm excited for the fact that every person in that room is going to have the opportunity to shut their mouths and open their eyes and see what a real man can do on that table. So bring it, because I'm bringing it. I'm coming all the way, and I'm going all night long. Is that clear enough?
Sounds like a hell of an event, boys. I mean, Kayne, thank you for setting this up and for everything you do for all these charities and everything you do, man. Like, you're not just helping the arm wrestlers have somewhere to release, a form of, releasing some weapons, but like it's also you're helping, a really good cause as well. So good on you, man. That takes a ton of organizing. I know it's something you're good at. So like, thank you for all you do. And John, yeah, I'm sure we can set up something where people have to donate to get a hold of that arm.
We're gonna have a big bucket on that table. Big
Big
bucket.
bucket.
We're gonna fill it up.
We'll
We're gonna
fill
fill
it
it
up.
up.
We'll fill it up. Why not? We'll fill it right up.
Yep.
Yep.
Riley,
All
you got
night.
any
All
questions
night.
for these guys? I'm sure you got something burning a hole in your brain.
Yeah, this stuff's been awesome. I've just been listening in awe of all what's going on here and watching the character that is Uncle John before me.
It's awesome.
You know, we just got a little snippet there of what we're gonna see. I'm sure all the audience is gonna see. As you said, you've been to Arm Gods, you've been to Arm Wars. You get that show right in Moose Jaw. You're gonna get to see Uncle John versus Kayne Hemsing right in Moose Jaw. Now, if you're not in the sport of arm wrestling yet, I mean, this is a big match. If you're already in the sport, especially in Western Canada, especially in Canada in general, you know who these two guys are, especially on the left arm. I guess I want to ask each one of you, round one, you're walking up to the table. What are you going to do? Start with Kayne. What are you going to do? Round one. What is your game? Maybe not give up your game plan, but what are you going to do?
No, it's the same game plan anytime I go in a match where I'm, unfamiliar with a guy I haven't pulled before. If I've pulled a guy, then I'm already thinking about, you know what I mean? But if I'm going up to the table pulling a guy that I don't know, I more concentrate on what I want to do, what I'm good at. You know what happens a lot, you guys know at arm wrestling, if you pulled a guy, you're kind of thinking about past matches. What's this guy going to do? Okay, he was strong here, he was. But here's a unique thing, and any arm wrestlers out there watching around the world, when you go up against a table, you've watched before, on TV, but you've actually never gripped up or had a match with. You kind of got to focus on what you're going to do, what you're good at, and go with it. And hopefully, you know what I mean, that it's in your favor. So that's what I'm going to be thinking about.
What I'm going to be thinking about is causing as many problems for Kayne as possible. Make him as uncomfortable as possible. Piss off the refs as much as I possibly can. I will take warnings. I will take fouls. I will make this thing the most dramatically drawn out match that you've ever seen in your life. Kayne, I hope you're ready to go into the deep water, because I like to have marathon matches. I want as much screen time as possible. That's what it's all about. More camera time. So I got to drag this thing out. We're going to squeeze hands. I'm going to walk away. They're going to put the strap on. I'm going to take it off. I don't care. I'm going to do everything possible to make this the most annoying match that Kayne has ever been a part of.
Well, he's not going to like that.
I have been known to get fired up before on the table, and a few people have seen it out there, so it could happen.
Look, I expect nothing less. I will bring my absolute best across the board, and that's all I ever ask of any opponent, is try to destroy me. I never want to go into a match where the other person is submissive or is backing down. Like, I'm going to try to make you back down, but don't back down. Because the more fired up Kayne gets, the more fired up the crowd gets, the more fired up I get. And that is what I live for. That is my purpose on this planet, is to get that feeling of not knowing what's going to happen. I mean, I have no idea where Kayne and I are. We've never even gripped up before. And that is a very dangerous and exciting place to be. We're both walking on the razor blade's edge, right? I could get up there and I'm telling you right now, I'm going to get up there and I'm going to make grand claims. I'm going to tell people that it is not even close. And if Kayne gets up there and flashes me, I got to eat it.
I get it.
But yeah. I will come in as hot as a pistol.
Well, now it makes me, I'm definitely going to have to take a scoop of NatFit pre-workout, probably blue raspberry flavor, probably about 30 minutes before the match. Now I know I wasn't going to, but now
full
I might
scoop, Kayne. Full scoop. No half scoop.
I might even take 2 scoops.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Careful, John. He takes 2 scoops. I'm not responsible for what he does at that table.
Oh, man. We're going to the moon. We're going right to the moon.
Well, that's it, boys. We're really running out of time here, and it's been a good show. We've covered a lot. Thank you guys both for showing up. I have nothing but respect for everyone on this screen. You guys are awesome. And, yeah, seriously looking forward to this weekend. Awesome.
Yeah, if I can say one last thing. It's that if you are anywhere near Moose Jaw and you don't show up, do you even arm wrestle? Do you even deserve to arm wrestle?
Right?
I'm going to be there taking on everyone. Maybe you're the guy that comes in and gets me on my off moment. Guess what? Get your camera ready. Put it on the internet, because you know what? It's going to look really good. But guess what? I'm going to have my camera there too. And I'm going to put up every single match I win, and I'm going to edit out every single loss. So you guys got to have more camera time than I do. That's the goal. Be there, support this event. I'm super happy to be there. Kayne, thank you so much for inviting me and believing in my character to be worthy of coming to your event. I really am honored to be there. I'm still going to absolutely whip you one, but I'm really happy to be there.
All right, that sounds good. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing all you guys this weekend in Moose Jaw, Brandon and I, and everybody there and the organizing crew. So everybody have safe travels coming to the event. And if you have any questions or you need anything between now and then, just let us know, and we'll make sure that it's an incredible event. And like any of our events before, you know, everybody goes home at the end of the day safe, and they got a new memory in their head. So
That's right. Well, I know I did my part, Kayne, as I've organized heavy with our team. As you know, I run Team Saskatoon, and we have 3 carfuls of guys coming out there. So we are supporting. We're doing our part.
Nice.
that's all right. Yeah, we're expecting a good turnout. I'm getting good feedback from people across Western Canada. So we're excited about the event. It's like I said, it's been 3 years, so we can have an incredible show, then allow us to start planning for the next one, hopefully later this year. So
Love it. Love it. Thanks, boys. You guys have a great night.
Thank you, guys.
all right.